This is pretty interesting. Beekeepers in Athens discovered this mysterious phenomenon where the bees in the hive, they build honeycomb cells everywhere but around the picture.
Hey,
so they avoid.
Back with another video. Hope everyone out there is having a good day, y'all. We got a good one coming up today. I ain't gonna lie, I feel like this is gonna be a good damn compilation. A lot of clips are from everyday people, not the usual content creators today. I don't know, those are what popped up in my algorithm today, and I love it. So we ain't gonna do too much talking, y'all. I'm always on a time crunch, so I'm gonna try to keep it silent a little bit more through today's video and just let it play. Enough with the chit chat though. Let's do what we all came here for. Let's get into the video. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Be the richest person on the planet right now in Austin, be in construction, be an electrician, be a plumber. Do you know how much those people are charging right now here? $200,000 average income of a good electrician. You go to 2 years of trade school, and then you go and you start working for a couple of years for a guy that owns a shop. You go and start your own. Your electrician business is going to be worth $10 million in 3 years here in Austin.
On my son's life, to stop breathing right now, Puff had a brownstone, I believe, on 35th Street and like Park Avenue between it's some brownstones down there, I believe 35th or 36th, and Mace was staying there, and I went to go meet him down there one day so we could bust a move. This is when he just signed with Bad Boy. He didn't even have an album out yet. He was just getting signed, and I went to use the bathroom, and it was a dildo on the bathroom sink. And when I came out, I asked him what's about. He like, that's homeboy's joint. You know, I don't know what it's about. He always have girls over here, but I don't know. I said, well, this ain't a sink. This is your bathroom. You're using this bathroom. I don't know where his bathroom at. You know what I'm saying?
I think the most interesting finding of the last decade in all of science, that your muscles are basically an endocrine organ that secrete hormones into your bloodstream that affect every system of your body. And from a health point of view, your muscles, they secrete chemicals and proteins when you exercise that are also really good for your brain health. That when you contract your muscles, they literally secrete these proteins into your bloodstream that make you resilient to stress and can protect you from depression. The scientists called them hope molecules. This idea that literally your muscles are manufacturing like antidepressant molecules. You have to contract your muscles. Like that's it. But your muscles are, it's like a pharmacy in your muscles, and anything you do that contracts them, walking, hiking, running, dancing, weightlifting, going to be dumping hope molecules. They work as an antidepressant, and they also help people recover from trauma. That's like a miracle. Of course, it's wonderful when medications work for you, but for so many people, medications don't work or they don't do the full job. And the idea that your muscles could provide you with the equivalent of something like an antidepressant medication, like that is just, I think it's fun.
Barack and Michelle Obama. He goes into the White House. Look at the house he lives in now.
Almost $10 million mansion.
17,000 square feet.
It's like a shopping mall. Almost
it does.
18,000.
It looks like
Look
an
at the
amusement
layout.
park.
My gosh,
Disney World.
It does. It looks like maybe a resort.
It does, yeah.
There is almost something where everyone turns at Santos because obviously, like, that's such a cartoonish, easy version of it. But it is kind of wild that there's so much outrage against this guy.
Yet again, the world has been left stunned at what we just witnessed at the White House yesterday. I mean, we knew it was going to be tense because they've been beefing online. But what no one expected was for Trump to ambush South Africa's president with a video compilation and stacks of news reports. And we sure as hell didn't expect Elon to watch on in silence. So what the hell happened? Well, the pressure leading up to this meeting has actually been building for years. Not many people know, but Trump first commented on farm murders in South Africa during his first term in this 2018 tweet. And back then, similar to now, the South African government dismissed Trump's claims as misinformation. Fast forward 7 years, however, he's now doubled down by cutting aid to South Africa, calling out alleged land grabs and white genocide, and of course the fast-tracking of the white farmer refugee program. And so finally, when the two were actually supposed to meet face-to-face, what was meant to be a brief bilateral meeting turned into a nearly hour-long debate. And to be fair, it did start off pretty well with jokes and pleasantries, but it took a turn when a South African reporter asked Trump,
"What will it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?"
But before he could answer, Ramaphosa, who is actually Mandela's chief negotiator, quickly jumped in and said that he could answer that question for the president.
Well, I can answer that for the president.
He said that for Trump to be convinced there wasn't a white genocide, it would take him listening to the voices of South Africans. Now, Trump's response to that, no one expected.
Turn the lights down.
He asked for the lights to be dimmed in the room and for everyone to watch what he had prepared on the screen. What followed was a compilation of videos, but most notably, one of Julius Malema, who is a political leader in South Africa, singing a struggle song with a huge crowd chanting, "Kill the Boer, kill the white farmer."
Shoot to kill!
Now, this song does have a long history and context and originated during apartheid, but regardless, it made its point, and Trump said directly to Ramaphosa, if this kind of song was sung in America, they would be arrested. But Trump wasn't done. He then brought out something else that he had prepared, a stack of news articles on farm murders. And at this point, other South African leaders joined in on the debate, including the country's richest billionaire and two professional golfers. Elon Musk was also there, however, he barely said anything, which is unusual since he's been very outspoken on the topic for months. Now, ultimately, South Africa argued that the country is facing a general crime problem, but not one that is directed solely at white people. Trump, on the other hand, ironically, despite listening to the voices of South Africans in that room, still wasn't convinced. Silver lining though, it didn't end as bad as Zelensky's meeting, and Ramaphosa actually called the visit a great success. So the question is, what do you think?
I thought today was going to be a simple dig into Ziploc bags and how they've been causing dementia, allegedly. But boy, was I wrong. Because what I uncovered was something much, much darker, if you can even believe that. It all started when I pulled up the lawsuit alleging that the makers of Ziploc knowingly misled consumers about the safety of their products. I noticed the defendant was S.C. Johnson & Son, supposedly a family business. They even call themselves, quote, a family company at work for a better world. So then I started digging into this family, and this is where things take a very dark turn. I give you S. Curtis Johnson, S.C. Johnson. He is the great-great-grandson of the OG S.C. Johnson, the founder of the company. And back in 2011, he was accused of, quote, repeated improper touching of a girl.
Always are.
According to the criminal complaint, Johnson is accused of indecently touching the girl over the course of more than 3 years. The girl told authorities that she could not remember exactly how old she was when the molesting started, but that it at first occurred during the month of June when she was between 6th and 7th grade. This is already bad, very bad. But then it gets worse. The girl turned out to be his teen stepdaughter. This next passage, I don't even want to read. I don't even know if I can read it, so pause it if you want to. But anyway, if convicted, the law carries a maximum sentence of 40 years in prison and a fine of $100,000. But guess what Johnson was able to get away with? 4 months in jail and a $6,000 fine. That's it. And he did not have to register as a sex offender. I guess that's the kind of justice that being number 283 on Forbes' 400 richest people in America can buy. But he's just walking around scot-free, a free man to this day, enjoying his $4 billion inheritance. They say S.E. Johnson is a family company, but now you know what kind of family.
Kris Jenner has a new face.
I don't understand how that's even possible.
So here's what they do. They chop you open right here, like all right here. They chop you open all down here, like behind your ears. They chop your neck, and they pull it up, and they sew it back into the muscle.
What is the long-term effects of that? Anything?
Yeah, like you lose the elasticity.
Like you'll kind of just always like wide-eye it?
Yeah, and it like makes your lip like, so you're kind of just like this, and you probably laugh like,
Photos you've taken inside your house can now be located. Check this out. We're going to start with this random bed frame in San Francisco. Watch this. First, I'm going to go to GeoSpy, and I'm going to try to upload that same image. And then we're going to search. Now I'm going to wait. And while I'm waiting, it's searching through the huge database looking for interior photos. Here's the original photo, and here's another angle from that room, and another angle with the same address. Wild. This tool will only be used for suspects in child crime-related cases, but Any other service could come out in the future with the same thing, so be careful what you post and stay safe.
Oh, dang. I thought when I found that clip, everyone knew it was going to collapse. I don't know why, like a controlled demolition or something. But they didn't, y'all. Those shingles or whatever was on that roof, those could have did some damage. Luckily, it looks like nobody was hit.
So scientists have found 2.6 million mysterious eggs underneath a underwater volcano. Literally, this is what they look like. A whole bunch of eggs. They don't know where the eggs come from, but we know the animals that do lay eggs. And so a lot of people are assuming, because they're kind of big, they're not really small eggs, a lot of people are assuming that it is Leviathan. That Leviathan has laid all these eggs, and there's going to be 2.6 million Leviathan that hatch from these eggs and take over the world. That's what a lot of people are thinking. If I'm being honest, I do think it's something pretty crazy. I just want to know, what animal is laying 2.6 million eggs? Is it Leviathan from the Bible? Or is it a dragon? Because I've seen a lot of people saying that it's probably a dragon. It's near a volcano and it's underwater. Could it be a Leviathan breathing, fire breathing dragon? I don't think any of those things are beyond a realm of possibilities, considering the fact that everything and anything has been happening, and it's kind of weird what our world has been seeing lately. But what are these 2.6 million eggs? What creature could be inside of those eggs? It does not make sense to me.
Definitely hung out with Diddy
We've,
too.
yeah, we've hung out with Diddy
At
too.
the party at Tao. And
Oh,
the
that
dinner
was in
party.
2001.
The first time I
Yes.
got socked in the face.
So when you told me that,
I was in line for the bathroom, and this girl, like, cut in front of me, and I was like, "Excuse me, I'm next." And she literally just went like, boom, right in the face.
Check it out. They got the sprinklers up here. Spraying towards the sidewalk.
That ain't gonna work.
Oh, right here. Just to keep the homeless people from camping here.
Put a tent.
But for summertime, free shower. Look, they got two of them. Oh, three of them. There's another one right here. Nice.
We are in front of Kanye's warehouse, where supposedly the neighbors have heard men dressed in all black chanting. There was a flyer that went up with Kanye's name on it. The requirements include all males, no fat people, skin complexion of Diddy or darker, shaved heads must be. There was a painted on the outside of the building, which has since been removed. Unfortunately, when I went by, nobody was there, so we went to go speak to the neighbor directly across the street.
We're with the news. Would you guys be open for an interview? What is it? We're with the news.
No, we're not.
KCAL 9 News?
Small fib.
KCAL Channel 7? Oh.
What's going on over there with that Kanye thing?
It's an eerie music. I don't know what kind of music is that.
Was there like people dressed in all black?
Yeah, they
There was a
like
casting.
whoa, whoa. Sometimes they like a marine. It's not regular. Sometimes Monday when you wake up, I heard the sound already. Sometimes there's a people asking for us to go inside. They use the ladder and they take a picture right there.
They take these fishing tours. The Amazon is known for putting their girls and boys on these boats, and they have sex tourism parties fishing, and they'll go up and down those waters just having sex parties and whatever they want. You can hear the cries of the children on the waters of the Amazon.
It's just everywhere, right? It's everywhere. Like, those people that run those out there in the Amazon are probably the elite of the Amazon. All right, there's different levels to elites in different economies in different countries. Like, not every elite is a, multi-trillionaire, right? But it's just everywhere, y'all. It's everywhere. It's even next door. It's your next door neighbor. Like, it's everywhere.
This is true, this would change everything. The United States has just obtained new intelligence suggesting that Israel is making preparations to strike Iran's nuclear facilities. Now, here's why that's such big news. Because not only would that be directly undermining the US, as they've been spending ages trying to negotiate a nuclear deal with Iran, but it would also risk igniting a much more devastating and broader conflict in the region. Now, sources familiar with this intelligence say that these concerns are coming from private messages between senior officials, intercepted Israeli communications, the movement of air munitions, and the completion of air exercises. And the timing of this CNN report is not good for Israel, because this week international pressure has been mounting against Israel to stop their operations in Gaza. Just yesterday, the UK paused trade negotiations with Israel, sanctioned West Bank settlers, and stated that this is now entering a new dark phase. While the European Union, which includes 27 countries, also announced yesterday that they too would be reviewing their relationship with Israel. But the question is, would Netanyahu actually risk going against their strongest ally by carrying out these strikes? Or do they need the United States too much?
What's that? Was a dragon dug up in Romania and the skull and bones are there? Yes it was. Did you see that video? Yeah, there's a guy in the hole with the dragon in there. And why have we not been able to believe in dragons before? Why is it mythological? Because if we're talking mythological, why aren't dinosaurs mythological? Riddle me that. We're going to say dragons are mythological, but we're not going to say pterodactyls are mythological, huh? Okay. Because, of course, in China, they have dragon as being a mythological creature, but it's alongside other creatures that aren't mythological. Why would that be? Is it maybe because it would be more terrifying to know that dragons were real than not? Even that over dinosaurs? I mean, probably. Okay, then.
You want some financial advice? Buy Tesla. Get all that political crap. People want to burn cars, hate Elon Musk. I don't know. But let me tell you something. All those people are going to forget all about that, just like they forgot about boycotting Gucci or Balenciaga and all that other stuff. And that stock is going to go back up. It was at 462 in December. It is now at 250. That is almost 50% off. And I'm going to tell you why Tesla is the buy right now. Because you see these Waymo cars all around. There's a couple of them working their way around. But what Tesla has done over the last couple of years is all these patterns of what people have driven. They have now created a lot of these driving patterns that what are they going to do? They're going to end up releasing autonomous Teslas that are going to be like Uber, and that stock, no matter what, is going to fly. And everybody's going to be like, well, I hated Elon, but you know what? That thing is going to fly, and you're not going to make the money. If you would put in right now $10,000 in the bank and you got 5% interest on that, after a full year, what would that be? What would that be, Maury? Huh? 5% of $10,000? 5% of $10,000. You would make $500 if you put $10,000 in the bank right now, or in the stock market in Tesla, and it went up just to where it was before. That would be $10,000. Don't worry about everybody else. Worry about your family, because that thing's gonna shoot back up, and everybody's gonna have amnesia. All right, good luck. Happy hunting.
My prediction is that probably by the end of next year, we'll have probably hundreds of thousands, if not
hundreds of thousands,
if not over 1 million Teslas doing self-driving in the U.S.
Those are not okay. What percentage of those are going to be? Well, not the cybercab. You're just talking about on full self-driving, level 4.
Unsupervised full self-driving,
right.
Meaning you do not need to pay attention.
Right. For me, if I own a Tesla and I have the software, the capability of doing it.
Yes.
Right.
This is crazy, bro. The song Stairway to Heaven, if you play it backwards, it is the most demonic thing you'll probably ever hear. I'm just going to play it for you. Okay. This is it backwards. Like... when people said stuff like that, it was just because those were older parents back in the 80s or whenever these songs came out, and they were like, it's the devil music, you can't listen to it. So they're just like making up stuff like that. I've never actually heard that before. That blows my mind. There's no way that by accident, on a song called Stairway to Heaven, you're spewing the most satanic things backwards. And then if you read the lyrics, a lot of the song doesn't make any sense forward. Really? It seems as if they like figured out what words backwards sounded like what in order to like make it happen. Yeah.
How could someone vote if all 44 presidents been cousins?
That's true.
So Trump not their cousin?
No.
Trump the only one.
Trump's not related.
He's the only one not related?
Obama's related to Bush and so on and so forth.
Yeah, ain't related to Columbus, related to everybody.
That's a fact. Why do you think they try to kill him?
How is everybody not knowing they not voting?
Even the president said, I forgot which president, they said presidents are selected, not elected.
Selected by who?
They're all related, right? So it's all family. So the 13 bloodlines that founded this country. Because you know America's a cult, right?
What kind of cult?
The back of the dollar. It's a cult. It's an eye on top of a pyramid. E pluribus unum means from one comes many.
Yeah, from one. Damn right, one come many. You investors, right? You get many. Stop playing on me.
From one comes many sounds like a cult.
But if I got one of these, I investor, right? Then I get many? Is that what they're saying? You get many of these, or what is it saying?
That's what they're saying. That is a cult.
Oh, I get it now.
The 13 bloodlines, 13 colonies that started this country, those are the families that run this country.
Right.
This is where we get into Obama. So David James continued his testimony, talked about setting up hotel rooms for Diddy, and things that he had in the room included condoms, applesauce, Jell-O, Fiji water, just for men. So far, I'm not hearing much. Ecstasy. Ecstasy shaped like Obama's face.
So I go underneath my sink to get me something, and y'all, I ain't never drinking this shit again. How the fuck is it gonna dry just like paper? Like, I'm happy because no mess, but does that not scare y'all?
So you mean to tell me that this is not dirt, this is ice, and this also used to be a cornfield? In Union, Kentucky, 2 feet of hail dropped out of nowhere like a mini glacier storm. You ever seen your crop get covered in ice in the month of May?
This is not dirt, this is ice.
And here you go, stepping on it to show y'all the millions of pellets that this hail consists of.
This is our corn on top of 2 foot of ice.
Corn stalks are gone. The field is turned into a tundra. This literally looks like a scene in the movie The Day After Tomorrow.
Hail.
See, I always say the creator has a sense of humor, because you don't just have ice working in the form of government where people are getting deported, but ice is coming from the heavens too. This is what they mean by hell on earth. Either you're gonna get cold as hell, which is the hell balls, or you're gonna get hot as hell, which is what the sun is doing. But nonetheless, hell is going to keep raining down.
2 foot deep ice and hail.
Interesting times that we live in, y'all. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. The shift is here. Let's get it. Peace in.
Don't ever put your kid in a jacuzzi or a hot tub. You know how there's always a sign outside of the hot tub that's like, if you're under 16, don't go in the hot tub?
Yeah.
The drain in the hot tub, she had been playing in there with my other sisters, and her hair got stuck in the drain, and 3 grown men like couldn't pull her out of it. There was like a law that my mom had passed called the Virginia Graham Baker Pool and Spa Safety Act that got all of these drain covers, because all of this was avoidable. Like, there was like thousands of deaths that would happen because these drains weren't covered.
Yeah.
And until my sister died, all of that was preventable. Now, if you look at the pool covers, it says like VGB on them. That is until like Trump got the whole fucking thing defunded, and all of the people all the organizations that are in charge of like making sure that this happens is now, it's like that's gone. So I don't know what's going to happen now, but now I worry that all of that is gone.
Hey, what's up, America? Sunscreen. So you guys might want to look up what RFK Jr. said about sunscreen, because that's pretty fucking important. Now, I'm not going to say it here because it's TikTok, and I know that no matter what I say here, I'm sure it's a problem. But look up Johnson & Johnson sunscreen and what RFK Jr. just said about Johnson & Johnson sunscreen and what they've known for a long time and what they've been doing for a long time, since the 80s and the 70s and the 90s. So I urge you to do that. Go check it out. RFK Jr. sunscreen, Johnson & Johnson sunscreen, RFK Jr. talk and discussion about that, about potential effects and potential things that might happen and potential things they knew about and that they kind of did some dirty shit about it when it came to treating something and causing something. I don't know, you might want to look into that. RFK Jr. sunscreen, Johnson & Johnson. That I would look that up if I were you.
Here's what you need to know about these bags right here, used by over 200 million Americans daily, by the way. And they're linked to dementia and the class action lawsuit that is now in progress. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Clint Steele. I'm a brain and nervous system specialist, and I help people just like you improve your life by improving your brain function, specifically around preventing and in many cases reversing dementia and Alzheimer's disease. For those of you that follow me, I did a video on this not too long ago talking about 750 milligrams of plastic being found in the brains of those that have Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. That's the size of a plastic spoon, folks.
Damn.
So the question is, where are all these plastics coming from? How are they getting into our body, number one? Number two, how are they getting into our brain? So in the last video, by the way, if you're not following me, guys, you need to be following me because I'm sharing this stuff. This is going to help you to prevent dementia and Alzheimer's disease. So in the last video, you can search it. I'm not going to share it here. I listed a list of things that we're using on a daily basis that create microplastics. One of the things I didn't talk about is this, because I don't use this. What they're finding here, guys, is this. And SC Johnson claims that Ziploc bags are safe to use in extreme conditions, meaning for freezing and also for heating in their microwave. Now, for any of you that are doing this, guys, and this is one of the reasons I don't do this, because it doesn't make sense to me to put this in the microwave. It's going to melt. It's plastic. It's going to get into my food. That's not good for me. So if you're doing this, you got to stop. Here's what happens. There's two ingredients in this plastic bag called polyethylene and polypropylene that break down and turn into microplastics. These microplastics are so small that they can actually cross the blood-brain barrier. And this is how we're finding plastics in the brain. So what can you do? First, go back and find my other video that I did on this subject, guys. Get the plastics out of your life as much as you can, and especially these. If you're using these on a regular basis, you gotta exchange them. I've had a couple of followers, a couple friends of mine as well, share what they use instead. These are 100%. I'm not sponsored by them, by the way, but these are plant-based plastic. They're not actually plastic, but they're plant-based bags that they're using, and they're 100% completely safe. And then the last thing, guys, follow me. This is what I'm sharing on this channel. So make sure to follow me. Make sure to comment, guys. If you're using these bags, let me know. If you've changed them for something else and you already knew this, because I did a video on this before, and you've changed these out, let me know what you're using instead. I would love, and some of the readers or some of my followers would love to see this as well. And then share this. Please, guys, share this. I'm out to save 1 million lives from dementia and Alzheimer's disease, and I need your help. And we've got to get rid of stuff like this because it's damaging our brains and it's leading to end-stage neurodegenerative diseases. So please share this. I love you. I'm Dr. Clint. Let's save more lives.
You know, you just got to pick your poison, y'all. You got to pick your poison. You ain't going to be able to escape everything. You know, there's so much, everything, people walking through stores, whatnot, every little thing on every deodorant, shampoo, lotion, sunscreen, plastic bags we put our sandwiches in, microwaves, everything, y'all. Everything. Everything's bad. The shirts we wear, you know, you just got to pick your poison, y'all. The only thing you can do is just try to control what you put in your body. You can control that. You can control the food you put in your body. And it doesn't have to be 100% organic. Just pick a side. You want to eat high carbs or do you want to eat high fat? Don't mix them. You mix them, that's where the weight gain comes. That's where the heart disease, that's where the heart attacks, that's where the whatever, that's where all that comes from. But you just got to pick your poison, y'all. You know, I get a lot of people that comment on my watch I wear. Why do you wear a smartwatch and why is it so tight? And like, dude, you got to pick your poison. You got a phone in your pocket right now? I'm sure you do. You're watching this video. I'm sure you got to, you know what I mean? Like, you can't be perfect, y'all. I like to keep track of my heart rate. I like to keep track of my steps. Like, that's my thing. Not everybody does, but that's my thing, right? I got other watches too, but you know, during the week, I like, or if I'm at home, or I like to wear my smartwatch, y'all. And I like my watches tight. I don't like them loose. I don't like them falling down. Like, you just got to pick your poison, y'all. You know, I'm not perfect, you know, but you know, I know a lot of you guys expect me to be perfect because the second I mess up, boy, you guys are on it. But you just got to pick your poison in today's world, y'all, because you know, everything out there is bad for us. Now they're saying the sun's bad for us. The air we breathe out there. There's days on the news where they say try not to go outside. You know, the air is bad. Try to carpool today because the air outside is bad that you're breathing. You got to pick your poison, y'all.
You know what's crazy? America's getting excited over no tax on tips, right? You guys are getting happy about this big, bold, audacious new tax bill. Well, one thing you guys need to understand, y'all ain't doing nothing bigger than Texas. If you're not aware, Governor Greg Abbott, he just
Get rid of them property
announced
taxes.
a bill in Texas.
Property taxes.
For no capital gains tax in Texas. Did you hear that?
Break it down, dog.
No capital gains tax in Texas. Meaning,
thank you.
If you make money off of something, it's not going to have taxes on it. That's not for the world. That's for Texas. So, if that bill passes, you will see every single company, person, everybody flow into Texas. Because if there's no capital gains tax, that could be on crypto, it could be on homes, it can be on anything. No capital gains tax. Texans are about to get rich. I'm out.
I think we about to get rich. Hey, I know. I'm hoping this equity goes through the roof in this house, and I would love for them to do something with that property taxes. I know it's brought up a lot. I pay a lot in property taxes, y'all. Probably like 5,000 to 6,000. I don't remember what it is. About 5,000 to 6,000 a month just on property taxes. So, you know, that's something I would love to see get changed. But I'll take that no capital gain.
Those who run the world been eating all the mythical creatures and shit. Really sit here and think about it. If you was the top 1% that owned everything in the world, would you eat the same shit you feed the peasants? Oh God, I'd be eating steaks made out of unicorns, trolls, and giants. Shit, that's just me though.
I'm gonna buy 10 shares of Tesla today. They're gonna kill it this year. Really? Then I'll do the same too. Let's hold it for at least a year. Deal.
12 months later.
Oh hey old friends, did you keep your Tesla shares? They're up a lot. I actually sold them last month. I made $3,000, but I paid $1,000 in taxes, so $2,000 total profit. Yikes, paper hands. So you paid a 33% tax rate on your profit? Is that bad? Yeah, your tax rate becomes much lower if you hold them for longer than a year, only 15%. I had no idea. I wish I didn't sell it in the 11th month. It's alright, now you know, and that's why you should follow this account.
This is pretty interesting. Beekeepers in Athens discovered this mysterious phenomenon where the bees in the hive, they build honeycomb cells everywhere but around the picture here. So they avoid covering up the picture. And apparently, it's only these certain figures that they won't cover. And this has been going on over years. But they will cover up normal photos or photos of non-figures. But this handful of figures, they are figures. They will not build the nest over them. That's kind of interesting. I mean, tell me, what do you think about it? Now, these researchers have been doing this, like I said, they've been doing it over the last few years. And they've tried to disprove this, by putting different photos and changing it up. But for whatever reason, it won't. They will not build honeycomb over the photos of these certain figures.
So why is Donald Trump making these deals over in Saudi? Think he knows what's coming. And if you missed the show last night, give me 15 minutes and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to just recap some of the stuff that I talked to you about. It all makes sense. The whole world will start to open up for you and you'll understand the news. But what he's seeing is these countries are not really our allies.
Over 700 million birds are getting away from this location on this one night on Tuesday. I wonder what this is and what's been happening over here. And before you say, yeah, migration's normal every spring and fall, not like that. Not to mention, if you're like me, you've been hearing birds tweeting at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like their whole rhythm is off. And you can't say it's just not a little bit eerie. All the things we've been seeing in the sky, all the crazy storms, the catastrophic tornadoes. If you know the girl who posted this video, please tag her below. Someone stole it on Twitter, and that's where I got it. I later remember passing this, and she posted more than one of these videos. I mean, what in the world is this supposed to be? Of course, the same exact time I showed you these clouds with this crazy blue hue coming off of it. Almost like it's an radiation ray. Now, those birds all leaving from the same area. Check out this crazy phenomenon that this girl right here caught on the radio, which she says she watches it religiously over and over again. Why does it seem like it's so freaking hot right there for a split second? Isn't this like color-coded? What in the world would cause it to get really hot for a split second? It caused all this. Fast forward. I mean, come on now. Like this one tornado that was posted on Twitter looks like a freaking BOMB went off. Like, it's ridiculous. Birds migrating, normal. Birds all taking off at the same exact time, coincidentally, while all this stuff happened. And being up all night tweeting, not normal. Something's up. And I mean, literally, something is up.
When I was a kid, I used to see these trails in the sky all the time. And so that's cool. A jet just went. And then you start to see a whole bunch of them. And next thing you know, everybody in your neighborhood was fighting and arguing and you didn't know why. Okay?
People who hit the snooze button, based on the research, when you drift back into sleep, it triggers your brain to go into a sleep cycle that typically lasts between 75 and 90 minutes. And when the alarm goes back off,
in 5 minutes.
5 minutes,
Yeah.
you're in what they call a state of sleep inertia.
Oh, so you're all...
Oh, it impacts your productivity for 4 hours.
They're killing us. Are you guys snoozers? I have never been a snoozer. Like, when I did work that 9 to 5, I was just up, y'all. I didn't have a choice, right? For one, I had things to do before I had to wake up. Usually my jobs, though, the jobs that I had that I loved and lasted were always later in the day jobs. You know, working 12 to 8, working 2 to 10 in the evenings. Those were my favorite jobs because I like to get my things done before I got to go to work. I used to like to go work out, go run, you know, get a couple meals in me before I go to work, get all my chores done for the day before I go to work. So I was never a snooze person, but those days that I did have to wake up at, 5 in the morning, like even now I try to wake up at 5. I don't hit that snooze, y'all. If I don't get up at 5 o'clock the first time, I just stay asleep until I have to wake up. You know what I mean? So I've never been a snooze person, but I could see, because there has been times I've used snooze, right? I'm very rare, but on those times, man, that you hit that snooze, you go into a real deep sleep, and 5 minutes later, you got to get up, and you just feel like crap.
Man, this is episode 4, and today I'm going to be doing C4 and showing you just how fucking awful these things are for you. The point of this series is to inform you of the harmful additives in popular snacks and drinks, and then to provide a healthy alternative without sacrificing too much flavor, because I like shit that tastes good. The top 3 ingredients you should really fucking look out for are cyanocobalamin, sucralose, and natural and artificial flavors, and here's why. If you haven't looked into cyanocobalamin and the process of actually making it and what it is, you really fucking should, because it literally comes from waste sludge, and to make a long story short, your body cannot break this shit down correctly, so it ends up releasing cyanide into your fucking organs and insides. 2 is sucralose, which is a sweetener, which again, just Google health negatives over time of sucralose, and there's just a plethora of fucking bullshit, including weight gain, accelerated aging, etc. Man, this list is fucking endless. Lastly are natural and artificial flavors that could include up to hundreds of different chemicals that aren't individually disclosed on the actual packaging and ingredient list. Food for thought, if they don't want to fucking disclose it on the back and just want a blanket statement, maybe they don't want you to know what the fuck they're actually putting in it to make it taste good, quote unquote. I feel like the more I go in depth into each ingredient, the more people want to nitpick and say, oh bro, you're not valid, like you don't have the knowledge to be talking about this. So this video, I'm just gonna tell you which ones to look out for, and if you give a fuck enough about your own health down the line, then you can look them up for yourself and you're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about, and it's fucked. The alternative I'm recommending today is one I've already recommended in past videos, being yerba mate. Yet again, you can compare these 2 ingredient lists and you can see organic is nowhere to be found on the fucking C4, yet it's in front of every single ingredient ingredient except for maybe one on the yerba. I also keep recommending this because I do say without sacrificing too much flavor, and I think these yerba mates taste pretty fucking good. This brand specifically. Also, a real interesting thing you can do is go search up a popular energy drink and the differences in the ingredients they put in it in the US versus the ingredients they put in it in the fucking UK and other countries around the world, and watch how much smaller it is in other countries. They're not just banning certain chemicals for no fucking reason. It's because they've done research and they fuck with people's health over time. But like I said, I'm not going to get down into the details this time. Just go and look it up for yourself if you care enough, and you will find that what I'm saying is fucking true. And if you care enough to make the switch to something healthier, you will find that you feel better. You don't feel bloated. You don't feel all fucked up. You don't feel like you've got a bubble gut. You just feel good. You feel energized and normal. So that was episode 5. If you have a specific product that you want me to review, toss it in the comments. But until the next one, stop sacrificing your health for the sake of flavor.
Am I just getting old, or is like overdoing it with the cursing just get annoying? Am I just getting old, y'all? I know some people just got terrible mouths, but I don't know. Maybe it was just the way I was brought up. I don't know, but I'm just finding me curse a lot less and less and less. I mean, just think about it. The word is curse. It's a curse word, right? I don't know. That video could have done a lot, but every other word was the F-bomb. And damn, I just sound like a Karen, huh? Look at me. I'm getting old, y'all.
He pointed out that Wolverine is simply two Batmans kissing, and now I can't unsee it.
The words that are about to come out of my mouth, I'm not even surprised they're about to come out of my mouth. But it was only a matter of time before dragons entered the conversation. Yeah, you heard me correctly, dragons. Now you're telling me that an alleged dragon skull and skeleton has been dug up in Romania. And I'm going to tell you, I've seen the video that's circling the internet, and it does in fact look like what I would imagine a dragon skull would look like. But I'm not here to tell you to believe in dragons. That's up to you to make your own mind up about that. But this video shows a guy in a hole with a dragon skull. Now, that got me wanting to jump down the rabbit hole, because you guys know I love jumping down a good rabbit hole. And it made me start thinking, the dragon is the only animal that's allegedly mythological on the zodiac chart, yet all the other animals do exist. How do we explain that? Also, the Bible even refers to dragons. So how do we explain that? And Chinese history says that they use dragon bones for medicine. How do we prove that? How do we explain that? So I want to know if you've heard this, if you've seen the video, what are your thoughts and beliefs on dragons? Because I guess now dragons are showing up. But let's have this conversation tonight, because I love...
Cooking for you? There's warehouse work. Y'all, what is it gonna be like, you know, for our kids, my kids, probably my kid? Is everybody gonna have a robot in their house doing these things, cooking for them? Like, can you imagine, like, someone from the past coming to the future and just seeing in everyone's house it's a new family member, a freaking robot? And then there's gonna be those rogue robots that like do some Amityville horror type things. Like, it's gonna be a trip, y'all. Probably might be in our lifetime. We're gonna be able to walk into the house, somebody's house, and they're just gonna have a robot cleaning the house, immaculate inside, cleaning the house, cooking gourmet food. You can probably program like the type of diet you want. Like, I want a ketogenic diet, and he's just gonna cook the best of the best ketogenic. I want my steak medium. Like, it's gonna be crazy, y'all. Like, the software you're gonna be able to put in these things. I want my, floor polished, and it's gonna be a trip, y'all. I mean, it's kind of dope other than the Amityville horror thing, but that's it. You got to be honest, like, that's pretty cool, y'all. Like, cleaning your house for you, and I enjoy cooking, so not cooking, but you know, sometimes maybe there'll be there's going to be a company out there that offers cleaning from these robots. They just pull up in the Tesla and come inside and clean your house for you and dip out without saying a word, right? This baby's moving a lot. That's why I keep looking at my phone, y'all. It looks like he's awake. No, gonna fall. He's gonna fall asleep. Might have to pause the video and she gone.
And that's all it takes. If you're an American, this will make sense. Sorry, European minds probably can't handle this, but for the next 10 days, the date is going to be the same forward and backwards.
The cost of living in this country is currently, it's not going to be, it is currently unsustainable. And there are people that they know this, but then they'll still look at somebody else that's struggling and then tell them they're not doing good enough. I want you to imagine somebody that makes $75,000 a year. That's a pretty high up wage in terms of like top earners in this country, $75,000 a year. And we're going to go through some things here. This is a person with no debt outside of a car. And please don't hit me with the, you can go buy a car for, shut up, you can't, shut up. Stop
yeah, you
saying
can.
ridiculous things.
Yeah, you can.
An entry-level decent car is $30,000. So this person who puts $200 a month into insurance and they pay 5% into their 401k because shut up, people should be able to put money into their retirement. Because if you're not doing it now, you're never going to get to start doing it later. So after those two things come out of their paycheck and their taxes are paid, they bring home $53,850 a year from a $75,000 paycheck. Average rent in my state for a one-bedroom apartment, because an adult should be able to live by themselves, $1,700. That car payment at 6% for an entry-level, very reasonable sedan, nothing fancy, the car payment's $579 a month.
See, but you don't need the car payment, y'all. You can go on Facebook Marketplace and get you a nice car. Both of my cars, y'all. I've had my Dodge Ram. I got this when I was working at LabCorp because my LabCorp van I could bring home and use it personally. So I would get my truck, you know, for the weekends. You know, I can't pull up to a dinner date in a LabCorp van, right? I mean, I could and I would still do it sometimes. But, you know, I would drive because we were allowed to use it personally. Don't freaking get all crazy. You're using that on your personal time. We were allowed to. Free gas. We could take it anywhere in the country. We can go to Disneyland. We can go to Vegas every weekend if we wanted to. LabCorp is a good job to go check out for a courier out there. Anybody looking for a job. But anyways, free gas too. But anyways, my Dodge Ram costed, I think, $7,500, and I've had it for, what are we in 2024? I had it 4 years. I got it in 2020, maybe 2019, end of 2019, early 2020. I've had it 4 years, y'all. No problems. Runs great. Like I said yesterday, alternator's gone out. Had to put a new AC kit in. Those are two big things, but still, you don't need to go get a $600 car payment a month. You don't need to do that. You don't. Like, don't listen to people like this saying you can't do that. You can't. Yeah, you can. You can go get you a nice Nissan Altima. You can go get you, it's kind of hard to find a Toyota that's a little cheaper, but you can find an older Honda Civic with 80,000 miles. Go look at my comments yesterday. There's people that got Toyotas, Honda Civics all day with 200,000 miles on their car, running great, right? So don't listen to people like this. Like, he's giving good knowledge on the cost of living now, but there's things that people just got in their head. Like, you got to go get a car. Like, no, you don't. Especially if you're struggling, right? If you're struggling, you don't need to. Save up, right? Or get a loan for $8,000 instead of $30,000. You know what I mean? Go get a loan from the bank, a $8,000 loan, and you can go buy a car off Facebook. There's no taxes. There's no dock fees. There's no, expensive tent. So we're going to charge you $2,000 for that. There's none of that, y'all. You don't need warranties and all that, y'all. You can go get a loan for $8,000 and your $500 payment's going to come down to, I don't know, $200, right? It's better. Segovia for president.
$240 or so a month for a lot of vehicles in this day and age. You're a young person. You've got a nice job, but the insurance companies still want to screw you over. Food. You only cook at home. You never, ever go out. You only cook at home and you only eat decent quality food because a human being should be allowed to eat decent quality food. You pay $879 a month for that. You spend $250 a month in gas. You wear and tear on your car $100 a month. $80 for your phone, $80 for your internet, $175 a month for your electricity, $70 for your water, $20 for your cash. You make $75,000 a year, and outside of a car payment, you have zero debt. Do you know how much money you have left over annually at a $75,000 wage? You do nothing. You don't own a Netflix. You don't go out on a date. You don't pay to go to a park. You don't go watch a movie. You do nothing. If you can't find it on the internet for free, you don't get to do it. If you can't cook it at home for your $800, you don't get to do it. You have $3,700 left over annually. That's like $320 a month. And there's going to be, well, that's $300. Shut up. Shut your stupid, contrarian, edgelord mouth. That's not a doctor bill, because God knows just because we have insurance doesn't mean that we don't still pay far out the ass when we go to the doctors. People like to be entertained. They want to date. They want to. There's those of you out there that will tell somebody living like this on $75,000 a year before taxes that they are not doing what they're supposed to do, that they should get a second job, that they should get a side hustle, that they should get a better job. And the fact that you would look at somebody with no debt other than a car and say something like this to them means objectively you're a moron and you live in a fantasy world. This is unsustainable.
Did people get into Airbnb thinking it was a passive investment and were shocked with the reality that it actually takes work? Are people tired now? Is their property distressed?
50% of all real estate investments, whether vacation rental, long-term rental, or otherwise, are sold within the first 2 years because people, I call them obsessors. So like my dad, at nighttime, he's super into collecting like vintage antique shotguns that have like the pretty engraving. And he gets online at night and he obsesses over that and looks at all, watches all the YouTubes and does all the things. Well, people get into this for a number of industries. People get obsessed with investing in silver or investing in real estate. So they do this and then they'll buy a vacation rental or they'll buy an apartment building or whatever the thing is. And then within the first 2 years, they're like, damn, I don't like this. This involves people and people are horrible. I don't want to deal with people. This is not what I want to do. I'm going to sell this. So 50% of all of them are sold. What we saw in 2021 was there was a lot of FOMO buying too. So rates at 2%, people were like, man, I've always wanted a beach house and the rates are at 2%. I can kind of swing that payment if I don't rent it, but I'll just throw it on Airbnb because Airbnb was kind of, blowing up at the time too. So everybody bought one. People who had no business investing in real estate, people who have no business running a business, bought them, expecting them to just make money.
You know what's annoying, y'all, about that is people don't give the knowledge. All it is to be wealthy in this world, that I still don't understand it. You gotta have the knowledge, right? You can take a millionaire, he became a millionaire off of something, I don't know. Nothing like the lottery, nothing like that. Take that out. He became a millionaire off a business he built from the ground up, right? Became a millionaire. You can burn that business to the ground. You can burn his house down to the ground. You can burn all his books down to the ground, take away all his family, whatever. You know what? He'll get back to being a millionaire because he's got the knowledge. He knows what it takes, right? He knows what it takes to get there. Just like YouTube. Like, I know what it takes to get monetized on YouTube. I'm going to share the secret with you guys. Do it every day. Do it maybe not in the beginning. When I first started this, I would do it 4 days a week. Consistent. That's it. That's what I should say more than every day. Do it consistently. That's the secret to YouTube, y'all. And you have to find the right content. For a long time, I did keto videos. I did trail running videos, working out in the gym. It didn't work. I had to switch it up. I switched to comedy. That didn't work. I stumbled across this. It worked, right? That's the key to YouTube, y'all. But people have knowledge. Like, she has knowledge because I'm guessing she's wealthy because she's shitting on Airbnb. So what do? Instead of doing that, maybe try this. This works. Like Airbnb, I wanted to get into Airbnb, but that's a big liability, y'all. Like, because you have to get 200,000, 250,000, dollar loan for a property. Like, that's a lot of overhead, y'all. So that's something I don't really want to get into. But a lot of these people, some do, like some share the knowledge, but like, share your knowledge. Like, what do you do with your money? Where do you put it? They don't do that. They tell you don't do this, but they don't say try this. You know what I mean? But I just gave you guys a secret to YouTube, y'all. Anybody out there? It's secret to social media. Do it every day.
Don't see every day. We have Sea Org members out in the wild. See, these people, these are Sea Org of the Scientology, Church of Scientology. They work 110 hours a week for $47. They're the paramilitary wing of the Church of Scientology.
Why?
And every day They get on the bus, they go to work for 15 hours, they come back, go to sleep, and repeat it day after day.
Why do they do that? What is the story behind this Scientology? I honestly don't really know. But like, why are you gonna go to work for 50, what do you say? 100 something hours a week? What, 15 hours a day and only make like 40 something dollars? Like, that's how crazy that cult is. Do they think that's gonna get them to heaven? Is that what their whole Scientology thing is? I don't know what it is, y'all, but somebody let me know down below. Like, why are they out here working these crazy hours, getting paid nothing? Like, is that their ticket to freedom in the afterlife or what?
All these people who are in the Sea Org are not able to have children. This is one of their legal advisors right here. But when you join the Sea Org, you forego your ability to have children. Because, you can't raise children while working in the Sea Org. And remember, they don't get paid anything. They're just essentially slaves. Now, you left her. You almost left her. You got others up there. Don't leave them. You don't leave them. You got people up there. You're leaving them. You're leaving them.
He's gonna go bust their balls over there.
They don't want to get left behind.
That's crazy,
okay, I'll see you guys in about 15, 16 hours. There's a Scientology bus. This is what they do day after day.
Look at where the towers used to stand. There is surprisingly so little rubble. Where did all the rubble go?
It's a very good question, Peter, and I have asked some people who've been doing some of the rescue and recovery work this morning. If you look behind me, you can see the very remains, the skeletal remains of the World Trade Center. And one volunteer, Robert Gerlinsky, explained to me the reason there's so little rubble is that all of it simply fell down into the ground and was pulverized.
It now takes China 77 seconds to make a car. So in this factory, the Xiaomi SU7 is sold for about $30,000 and it takes 77 seconds to make. What the shit?
Is that supposed to be like a mannequin or something? I thought that was a real lady when I found this clip. I think she's supposed to be like a mannequin. She's gonna blink, huh? That looks legit. Oh shit.
Now, just for context, the person recording this was visiting this museum after his father came here a few days ago. His dad told him that there was something off about this place. He doesn't know why, but the exhibition that's dedicated to a woman known as Maria Sabina creeps him out. Whether it's because her wax statue looks a little too real, or her history with witchcraft, the whole exhibition scares him. But after watching this video that his son took, there's no way that he's coming back to this place now. The following is what his son captured at the exhibition of Maria Sabina. Have a look.
I took the test that the kids had to take. And some of these questions that are on here, it's not to get kids to critically think. Who wrote this test? Do they teach kids? And some of the stuff that y'all are asking these kids to do on these tests, adults can't think like this. You're asking a 11 and 12-year-old to answer a type of question like this. The state test is hard.
And who's getting the money?
Again, it goes back to there's a lot more politics in education than people realize.
Televangelist and mega millionaire Kenneth Copeland, right here, made a movie where he's the head of a Mexican crime family and a preacher. It's called The Rally, L.A.
There is something that I must do. I should have done 20 years ago. What's some of the things you're dealing with? We are dealing with the devil himself. Santiago Sarca. The winds are changing. We need to be watchful. I am Antonio Sarca. I am your grandfather.
Yeah, Kenneth Copeland portrays a Mexican crime lord, and Eric Roberts is a competing crime lord. But Copeland's crime lord preaches the Bible.
As you try to mess the way the business around here, I will not hesitate to silence you. You hear me? I will take you out.
This is a real movie. This is actually a real movie. Kenneth Copeland starring in The Rally LA. Shabadoo Brewskis! Shabadoo!
We studied the workforce in other countries.
Oh, wow.
Compared to ours. And so in Italy and other in European countries, they have 4-day work weeks. And they're interviewing these people from these factories and from all these different industries. And they're saying, so you pay your employees way more than minimum wage. You give them 3 weeks vacation or 4 weeks vacation a year, and they only work 4 days a week. Doesn't that hurt your production? Don't you find that they're slacking? And they all looked at them and immediately shut it right down and said, no, it's the opposite. And this is why I truly believe here in the United States, we do have to adopt this eventually, because the whole idea is if you're paying people enough to where they can afford to live, if they can afford to take care of themselves when they are sick, and if they have time to spend with their families, they're going to be happier, healthier, they will be more loyal and stay longer. And therefore, overall, everybody wins. You're getting the best out of your employees, which increases production. And I don't know why we can't wrap our fucking heads around this.
Have y'all seen this video going around the internet of this man that looks like Kanye West?
That's Kanye,
Now,
y'all.
before I start, this is not false information. This is just opinions, okay? But this guy looks just like Kanye West. The man who took the video was trying to talk to him, and he was just completely zoned out, was not moving at all. This man looks more like Kanye West than Kanye West looks like Kanye West anymore.
Yeah, she ain't
This is
lying.
Kanye now compared to this guy. And man, he said if he ever disappears, whoever came back wasn't him. That's Kanye from back in the day. Look how
crazy.
much this man looks like him. What's really weirding me out is the haircut, because he looks like he's been lobotomized. I mean, is that Kanye? That looks so much like old Kanye. That is just weird. It's uncanny, for real. It's crazy. And I'm telling y'all, look at this. Here's a before and after picture of a woman after she had a lobotomy down here. It's pretty weird. What do you guys think?
Did you guys hear about Trump and how you can write off your interest that you're paying on your car or your truck if you financed it, as long as it's made in the United States? I wasn't sure how to figure that out, but it seems that any VIN number that starts with a 1, 4, or 5 is made in the United States. 2 is Canada, 3 is Mexico, J is Japan, A is South Korea, S is England, W is Germany, and Z is Italy. So that's how you know if your car was made in the United States. I knew that, so I just wanted to share that bit of information with you. Have a great day.
It remains one of the biggest true crime mysteries. Karen and her husband wake up, and around 11 a.m. they are notified that their insurance roadside assistance service had been used earlier that morning. And they're like, what? We haven't left the house today. And the company explains, no, it wasn't used by you guys. It was used by your son around 9 a.m. Karen tries calling Bryce, but he doesn't answer. So she calls Sean, his roommate, and she asks him if Bryce is there. But Sean is now confused. He informs Karen that not only is Bryce not home now, he had never come home last night after leaving Kim's house. Mike calls the company where the charge was placed and actually gets in contact with a man named Christian.
Okay.
Hey, we know where Bryce is. Like, I went to the place, we know where Bryce is, because he's still sitting in his car in the same spot on the side of the road.
What?
Where Christian had dropped him off gas 3 hours earlier.
Turn the lights down and just put this on. It's right behind you. Johan.
There's nothing this parliament can do. With or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. Yeah. South African occupy land. That's who we are. Honorable member, can withdraw my membership from this useless parliament? Honorable. Yes, honorable member.
Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing,
because the killing is part of a revolutionary act. Shoot to kill. Yamasa. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer.
So these people, when you want to hit them hard, go after a white man. They feel a terrible pain because you have touched a white man. Not because Mashama and Soli will not be touched. They will be touched, don't worry. But we are starting with this whiteness. We are cutting the throat of whiteness. It's
Shoot to kill. Yamasa. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer. Shoot to kill. Yamasa. Kill the poor.
Why isn't every tree planted by HOAs not a fruit tree?
Yeah.
Or a food-producing tree of some kind? So we'll waste the water for a pretty whatever.
That's planting and zoning. You can only plant these species.
Why?
I think, well, number one, they don't have anybody to pick up the fruit.
And it's the sort of thing where you know this as well as I do. I'm not preaching to you, obviously. Like, the fruit falls, what's it going to do?
Yeah.
It's going to grow another tree. So if we just let the natural ecosystem take care of itself, we would have free food everywhere.
We would.
And I thought about this.
And we would be feeding the poor.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Walk down the road, pick up whatever. There was a church that where I right next to where I used to go to school, and they would get pissed when we would pick the oranges and eat them on the way home. It's like, why?
Yeah.
It's a point of view. There used to be a neighborhood where I used to live called Litchfield Park. Now I don't know if this is true. You guys will let me know. But there's orange trees all through the neighborhood, through the streets, not just on houses, right? I just, by the little pond and all that. But we were taught when growing up, they would tell us if the tree is painted, it would be painted white, like halfway up the trunk or whatever, the trunk of the tree. That makes the fruit poisonous, so you can't eat that fruit. I'm 35 years old. I still don't know. I never really looked into it. I'm sure that's false, but people still don't eat those oranges, y'all. There you go down the street right there. Well, right now it's too hot over there, but like in the fall and the winter, it's full of oranges.
Point of view shot is somebody just walking forwards with the camera. So basically he's filming what he's seeing very deep inside the catacombs. Other than the point of view shots are pictures of bones. Human bones. Occasionally stops and he photographs bones, often in the shape of an arrow. These arrows point in a direction. Occasionally also he stops to photograph roomfuls of bones, which means that he's very, very deep inside the catacombs.
Wow.
What happened to him? Nobody knows. There are ways to match things up, to try to identify where this person was in the catacombs. At times you'll see there's signs, painted signs on the wall, which is not uncommon. People have been painting in the catacombs for centuries. So it is possible with these paintings that we may be able to retrace his itinerary to some extent. After about 40 minutes of these point of view shots and these pictures of bones, the person begins to walk faster and faster. Then he begins to run. We hear his breathing get louder and louder, as though something was scaring him. He's frightened. Occasionally he stops, perhaps to try to decide which way to run among all the many different corridors. He's running faster and faster and faster, deeper and deeper into the catacombs.
Yeah,
and all of a
screw
sudden,
that, y'all.
He drops the camera. The camera just drops on the ground and keeps rolling. And you see his feet just run away.
That's
And
crazy.
it keeps rolling until it runs out of tape.
Well, Putin is threatening to release satellite photos of exactly what happened in 9/11. He's threatening to do it. What is going on, man? I mean, are y'all as crazy as I am? I mean, you know, I thought losing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was bad enough. Now, I don't know what the hell's happening. Have a good day.
And do you know the #1 payer of boys and girls around the world? U.S. This is happening in our backyard. Out of all those that have been, safeguarded and rescued from Renewed Hope 1, 2, and 3, more than half of those boys and girls have been right here in the U.S. So we think it's over there, it's over there, it's over there. No, yes, it is happening in other places, but it is happening in our country, right here, in our neighborhoods, in our backyards, in our families. And then we get into the fight against live streaming. And do you know the #1 payer of live boys and girls around the world? U.S. Not close. And in peer-to-peer sharing, we're third. China, Russia, America.
Did you know there? Y'all, I had a clip on here. I had to take it out because I didn't know that's what that clip was. Like I said, I just watched the first, 5 seconds. If it's entertaining and it is type of genre, I put it in. And when I'm editing, when I watch it through, if it's not doesn't make sense, I'll take it out. But there was one clip, y'all. They were at a family gathering, inside the house. They just got done cooking, eating. Everyone's just sitting on the couches, and the lady's going by with her phone, just filming everybody, everyone's waving and all that. And she gets around. It took me 2 times. They did it in slow motion, and I caught it while I was reacting. So I made a note. When you guys see me on my phone, I'm either looking at my baby or I'm writing down things I gotta edit. Cause that Tebow clip, he said 2 bad words, so I gotta mute it, right? If not, YouTube will block my video from coming out. So and they were just going around, and it was a little girl, y'all. A little girl with an older man. He's probably 50 years old. Little girl was probably under 8 years old, and she was touching him. And when the camera got to her, she moved her hand and looked down, and then the dude looked at the camera but they didn't even notice. I'm sure later on when they reviewed it, or they got all this backlash because it is all over TikTok. But that's just like you said, in your family, that's happening, right? That's right there. And that was just a family. That was the cousins, the uncles, the brothers, the sisters, the mom, the dad. We're all there, y'all. And that little girl, I was like, damn, I wish I could have kept that on, so we can kind of expose that this happens at get-togethers and all this types of things, family, and not just neighbors or people in other countries. It happens in your backyard, right? But I couldn't put that on the video, but that was a clip that popped up on my TikTok, y'all. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy, y'all. That's crazy.
Freaking hurricane off the coast of New York on 9/11.
You can see on the edge of your screen here, this is the outer bands here of Hurricane Aaron. Looks dangerously close to the U.S. mainland.
For 4 days, it was going straight towards Manhattan, no land masses in between. Stopped.
Suddenly, it takes a sharp right turn and scoots off out into the Atlantic.
Literally reported for duty, and then it went off.
It's a Category 3 hurricane, bigger than Hurricane Katrina, and it starts off, way down, in the south, heading towards the Florida area, hooks a right, goes all the way up to New York, and then pauses on the day of 9/11, sits there, and then hooks right again and goes north, out of the way. Nobody ever heard about it. Bright and sunny day.
Rain yesterday afternoon, now well offshore, just a little bit making its way off the Outer Banks. No rain today or tomorrow. Cloud cover, too, with that cold front is making its way offshore, too. So we're going to have just a beautiful day today.
That creates all kinds of crazy questions.
All right, family. There you have today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you made it this far, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I think I'm figuring out my baby schedule, right? He wakes up at about 7 o'clock. I feed him, change his diaper, whatnot, right? Hang out. He's due for another. He doesn't go back to sleep. He stays up. He skips a sleeping cycle after eating. 10 o'clock, I eat my breakfast. I feed him again, and then he takes a long nap. So 10 o'clock, 10:30 is my time to come in here and do my reaction, y'all, because he's been asleep. I had to get up once to check on him because I saw movement on the Ring camera in here. He was asleep, y'all. He went back to sleep. He was just moved his hand to do something. So it's nice. I figured it out, y'all. This is my time to do my reaction. But anyways, y'all, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Nothing really planned today. Cook some lunch right now after I take a shower. Hopefully he lets me clean, edit the video, get it out there to you guys. And yeah, just got a ring notification right now that he's moving. So that's it, y'all. Probably clean Mama Bear's car today, this evening, when the sun starts going down. I think I'm gonna go out there and clean it, because I got to clean all 3 vehicles because we've had ugly weather. So my truck's filthy, but I'm probably gonna wait to do that on Saturday because that takes a little bit of time. Today I'm probably gonna wash her car and wash my little Prius. That's a piece of cake to wash. I don't even dry it, nothing. I just water it down, soap it down, and let it air dry, y'all. But anyways, that's the reaction today. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the man cave. I hope everyone out there has a good day. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow on the next one. Later.